Joanne from New Zealand here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this little bird. I've made one already and I'm going to make one in reverse so they can look at each other on the Christmas tree. For this you're going to need your pattern and you're going to need two different coloured felts. I'm making mine second bird in yellow and grey. Now the first thing you're going to need to do is trace your pattern onto freezer paper, and I've already done that. When you've traced your pattern onto freezer paper, then iron them on the pieces onto the felt and then cut them out. And here I've got my grey bird and he's going to go this way round. Alright, so you need your felt, and I'm using that gold, yellowy gold felt and all the little pieces that go with it. A bit of ribbon or whatever you like to use to hang yours on. I've got a red and white satin twisted ribbon. The reason I've got this marked here is I want to make sure that the placement is identical to that one, so that sits flush with the felt. You're going to need a little set of beads. Now I've got them in a lid here so they don't roll all over the place. So I've got 6 beads for the legs. As you can see, there's three on each leg there, and you're going to need a little button for the eye. Now, so that I get these identical with the placement of the hanging ribbon, what I've done is I've marked on the back of mine where these two bits of ribbon are going to sit, and I've also decided on this one I just stitched them in at the end, but this time I've decided it'd be better if I had them placed so that to go down there, and I stitched them on first, because when you turn this over you'll see that the little wing that you put on hides that stitching, and that'll just give it extra strength so that it's less likely to come away when children are playing with it on the tree. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch on my ribbon, and then I'm going to stitch on the yellow wing. The next thing you need to do is, after attaching your ribbon, is to secure those beads in place that I've done. And how I do this is I take a very long piece of thread, double it over, so it's a double thickness of thread, and I thread through the top bead and through to the bottom and back up again, leave a loop, and then thread the next 3 beads and thread back up again. And you can see my loop here is that length. And then what I have is I have those 2 threads from here that I started with and the 2 threads from the other side that I finished with, as well as the loop. And I just put them all together and I hand stitch over that loop so that it's hand stitched behind the wing and no one can see it, and secure it off. And then I have my beautiful little feet or legs for my bird, and that's exactly how I've done both of those. Right, the next thing you're going to want to do to make this little bird is to position the bird on the backing felt, and you're going to position the tail in place and the beak in place according to the pattern. And I've also decided to use those little clamps to hold my legs in place. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch right round the edge of the bird, changing my presser foot here for a zipper, for my zipper presser foot, so that I can stitch close to those beads without too much difficulty. After stitching the bird down onto the backing, the next thing you need to do is place on the hat. So I'm going to stitch that hat on first, then I'll come back and add the brim and stitch that on. Then I'll stitch the yellow for the beak and the yellow for the tail, and we are just about done. After that it'll be sewing on the eye. Here's our wee bird all stitched together, the button's sewn on, and you can see at the back there's the button, and it's looking rather cute. Last thing to do is to get your sharp pair of scissors and carefully cut all the way around the outside. Take care not to cut the legs or to cut the ribbon. And here is my wee bird all finished and hanging on the felt Christmas tree with its little red bird, and I love the way they're looking at each other, quite cute. The length for this ribbon around here is 12.5 centimeters long.